Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Victoria, and if you're new here, you should definitely subscribe and hit that little bell icon to get notified every single time I post a brand new video. So in today's video, I'm going to show you guys my everyday eyebrow routine. This is exactly what I do every single time to achieve a Instagram yet a little more natural looking brow. I definitely used to do them a lot darker, and I tone it down usually, but once in a while I'll go darker, but I'll explain all the details and all the things I use to achieve the look. Alright, so before we get started, I'm going to go over all the tools I use in case you want to have all of them ready or you want to make a little checklist. So the brush I use to fill in my brows is this Anastasia eyebrow brush. It's a little angled thin brush. This is the same brush I have had since I was 15. It has done me no wrong. The spoolie gets clean, this gets clean, and honestly I've never had an issue with it. So yeah. The brush I use to carve out my brow is usually the Beauty Treats F05 brush. I believe I got this in like a brush set from Burlington, but it does have a little name right here, so in case you can find it online, that is what it's called. But if you're looking for a more precise line when using thicker concealer, like when you're doing an Instagram eyeshadow look, I use this little brush. I believe I got this at like Walgreens. But yeah, whenever I'm going for a more natural look, a more defined but not too heavy carved out look, I go in with this brush. And when I'm going for that Instagram brow, like girl, you know there's concealer there, this is the brush I use. As for concealer to carve out my brows, sometimes if I'm going for a more natural look, I will mix my foundation shade with a lighter concealer, or I just go in with the Tarte Shape Tape. And as for my actual brows to fill them in, I used to use Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade in the shade Granite, and of course it's amazing, it's great. But if you're looking for a cheaper alternative that works just as great, this is what I have been using lately. It is the AOA Studio Wonder Brow Pomade, and the reason I love this is because it's literally dip brow pomade, but this just glides a lot smoother and it doesn't seem to dry up as bad as the dip brow. I know you know what I'm talking about. If you've had it for a while, it dries out before you even get to the bottom. Or maybe I just don't use it a lot, but yeah. Okay, so I brought you guys in closer so you can get a better look at what I do. So I know I'm using pomade, but this will also work with eyeshadow or eyebrow powder. Just follow the same steps. Basically, I just start off by brushing my brows. And again, today we're going for a more natural looking brow. And what I start off by doing is basically filling in all my gaps starting from here on out. Make sure this is always darker than your front. So I'm missing some more hair right here, and I need to extend this tail a little bit, so that is what I'm gonna do. I'm just making straight lines. I'm always following the natural line of my eyebrow. Right here, I'm gonna do a line right here. And then I'm going to take my spoolie to brush it out. And then fill in. Try not to be too messy, that way you don't have to go back and clean up as much. But if you make small mistakes, it is okay. What I'm doing right now is outlining my eyebrow. Make very small strokes and very little product because this product goes a long way. So right here I'm just going to be making a straight little line. Just barely, but that way it looks more cohesive. Really sorry I'm not the best at explaining, but I hope you guys can see what I mean. You see, it hasn't gone too much darker, but it does have a better line of definition. Now I'm just going to go to the top, and I do brush the hairs down a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and outline and fill in my gaps. And I'm going to sharpen up this little arch a little bit. And you see I'm making small hair-like strokes as I go along and using my spoolie to brush it out. Alrighty, so now we're on to the next brow. and we're gonna follow the same process. As you can see, they look quite similar. The only thing is this one looks a lot more defined and fuller because I have filled in my gaps. So on this brow, my gaps are right here and a little bit on the arch right here, and then again I just extend the brow just a little bit. Whenever I dip into my product, literally it is so light, it is like taps, just like that. And also the way I hold my brush to get a straighter line, I basically angle the brush exactly to my eyebrow like this to achieve a straighter line. So basically I start from where it's filled in and then take it straight back. You see? And basically I just go in and fill in where I need it by outlining, and then I'll outline the top. And this is where I extend the tail just a little bit, and remember always to spoolie out. So as I fill in my gap, afterwards is when I outline. I start where my gap is and then outline. So same here, I'm going to fill in my little gap, and then I'll go in and outline. And again, try not to bring any product from here to here, here to here. Whenever I look straight into the camera, as you can see, it looks like I'm missing hair right here. So I do go in sometimes very lightly and just fill it in, just so it matches up a little bit more to this. Now that you have both brows done and outlined, you're gonna take your pomade or your eyebrow powder if you would like to achieve a little bit of a more fuller look, and just fill in the tail just a bit more. And I just go back in anywhere where I feel like I need a little bit more product. My issue back then used to be that once I got to this step, I felt like I had to fill in a whole nother layer of pomade here and here, and that is what gives you that really fake, perfect Instagram brow. Not necessarily perfect, but more fake looking. But this way you achieve a really clean, defined brow, but not too heavy. Okay, so once you've reached your desired fullness, now you're ready to carve out these brows. Also, if you're looking in the mirror right now thinking if you should add more, stop. Know when to stop. That used to be my problem as well. This is a good stopping point. So to avoid having this little part look cakey, I would definitely recommend putting your concealer on the back of your hand and just taking your brush and using it from there. So we're gonna start from right here, basically where your eyebrow starts getting dark first, and we're just gonna go ahead and carve out this brow, just make a cleaner line. Also, while you do this, just make very, very small strokes. Take your time, be patient with it, and I promise you, it'll reward you in the end. And have a really, really soft hand with this. Usually what I do to gain more control is I lay my hand on my cheek, and all I do is move my fingers. So go like this, and then because that keeps my hand really, really steady. Y'all see that? I know y'all see that. Okay, so now that you have this, blend that down. And what you have on your brush still, bring that up here and start making your line. That way it's not as harsh up here as it is back here, because you'll have eyeshadow covering here, whatnot, and up here you don't have nothing to hide that. So go ahead and bring that down. And to blend it a little bit more, you can just use your finger. So you guys see? Looks kind of the same. This is just a lot more highlighted and a lot more cleaner. So now we're going to go ahead and do this side, and we're going to follow the same exact steps. So we're going to start in the middle where it gets darker first. Again, small strokes. Okay, and then come to the front, connect those lines. And drag down. I just want to go ahead and let you guys know I'm having a very good brow day today. If your brows don't look like this right now, don't even worry about it because my brows don't look like this every day. I got very lucky today. Okay, so moving on to the top of our brows, we're going to use whatever we have left of the concealer and mix in some of our foundation. And you can use whatever foundation you like. For this, you're going to want a lot less product, so I recommend just dabbing some on there before you put it straight onto your brow. And for some reason I always start with this side. So we're just gonna start from right here in the middle and bring it back, again just carving and outlining. And again I do really small strokes, really slow, and I take my time. Here I just kind of drag it forward. I don't use my brush right here. You see, you don't want it heavy at all. You just want to go ahead and make it a little more cleaner than what it was. And this step is not super necessary. You guys can choose to do this or not. Regardless, foundation will cover. And if by any chance you dipped in a little bit, don't worry, you can always go back and fill it in. Okay, so if you did this correctly, you really shouldn't have to blend anything out right here. But if you do, whatever's left on your brush, don't dip into anything. Whatever's left on it, just go ahead and kind of buff that out. That way, in the case you forget to add some foundation there, or if you're not even doing your foundation, it looks all blended. Alrighty guys, and this is the final product. Of course, this is without any foundation. This is just the eyebrows. I will show you guys in the outro what it looks like with my full face. But as you can see, even without any makeup on the face, it still looks really natural. It's not a huge difference. They just look a lot more cleaner. It looks like you just freshly got your eyebrows waxed and tinted, which I have a video on if you want to go ahead and click. No, it'll be in this corner right here. Basically how I prepped my brows, why I had such a good brow day, because oh my gosh, I had a good brow day today. Normally this video probably would have taken like 2 hours, but I think it's only been 1. Alrighty guys, so here is the finished makeup look with the eyebrows. As you can see, it definitely works out for a natural face or even a full beat. It gives you the same effect without looking too cakey or too heavy or anything. So I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. This is basically what I do every single time I do my eyebrows. It definitely takes me a lot longer on other days when my eyebrows are not prepped. It takes me a good 30 minutes for one brow. But when they're prepped, this is what I do and this is how easy it goes. So thank you guys so much for watching. And if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button, like this video if you liked it, and remember to follow me at all my social medias. And until next time guys,